I'd like to thank my sponsor, Undisclosed Energy Drink, now in a pop top can. Anyway, let's talk about College Football 25. Just an update for you. I've played through a full season of Dynasty mode, and I'm using Michigan State because they're is mediocre, but not a super duper small school. So you have some tools to work with, but in comparison to like Georgia or somebody, you have no chance. These are kind of like some gameplay elements that I like, that I dislike. Just some different things from my current experience of the game that I've kind of taken away from after playing through a full season and a full off season now into my second year of the dynasty that I'm in. And I kind of just want to cover some things to give you an understanding of what this game is and currently what it isn't. And my perspective has drastically changed. It sounds like a lot of people are coming out and saying this game was amazing at launch, it was great, and then the honeymoon phase sort of ends, and now you're seeing a lot of these issues you may have been blind to the first month kind of pop their head out, and I'm getting a very good consensus feedback that I'm not the only one feeling this way. So let's kind of jump into this. I'm going to give you a disclosure. A lot of the footage you're seeing is from my live streams, and I do not have the equipment. Undisclosed Energy Drink has not cut me a check yet to upgrade my hardware, so some of this footage is going to be a little blurry sometimes. I'm sorry for that, but I'll talk through it the best I can. So this is from my dynasty. I'm currently playing against Boston College here, who in the dynasty has given me more problems than any other team other than Ohio Skynet University, which I'll talk about them later. One thing I do enjoy currently about where the product is some of this stuff here. These tackles. I love how organic they feel when they work. As you can see here, this starts out as a one-man tackle on the running back. As you can see, the user control player comes in and is able to add into that. I thought that this was a really cool little thing that they have with some of the tackles in the game. If I could find any better examples, I'll kind of show some of that stuff off here as well. This is another really cool example of the tackle system in action here with a pretty much like a gang tackle. You have one player come in and wrap the ball carrier up, and another player come in and kind of finish the tackle off here. I love this stuff. I think it's really cool. With all the compliments that I want to give the tackling system, there's this weird thing that happens in this game where it's almost like the collision detection just doesn't know what to do. So you're going to get a pass here to this underneath route. As you can see, my defense is playing a 3rd and 12. We're going to give the pass up here. We don't care, but we're playing the sticks to basically force a get to the ball, rally, make the tackle situation out of like a soft zone here. So I'm going to let this play. And yeah, basically there's like an issue, and I don't know what I would call it, but like there are just times where the collision detection just doesn't acknowledge what's happening, and this is one of the worst examples I've been able to find, where I feel like in a lot of the other situations that you saw right here would be sort of like a wrap, slow the ball carrier down. It just doesn't acknowledge that there was a tackle in place. Again, here's another situation where at least some sort of one-on-one collision situation should happen, which then causes this backside defender to over pursue, and it just gives them a really easy first down. This happens to me so much that they need to tweak this or rework some of this tackling out. I don't get why it's so weird sometimes, but it's absolutely frustrating as a user when you have the right call on the field and then something like this happens, which gives the Skynet offense a first down, and they immediately will go down the field and score within a second. Alright, what we're going to be looking at here is some examples of the press coverage, some press man. I think the alignments are really well done in this game, whether it's a zone or some sort of like man technique. I think that they differentiate them enough that it feels organic, especially here where you get a good quick receiver against the press man technique, and of course, you know, he ends up beating him to the inside, swinging around here, and you can see the animations are cool. I think that they're mostly balanced, especially, you know, if you put a bad player against a good player, you're going to feel that impact on the field. And you get, like I said, inside shade here. He sets him up with the dribble step and then basically beats him to the inside. Here's what was taking place on the other side of the field. You have a 2 receiver set here. Again, you have your inside shade from the outside corner. Again, he sets him up with an inside move. He sort of recovers enough that he's able to get a pretty decent jam here. You have a little bit of space with this inside corner, so you're getting sort of like a pick play here from the offense, which is fine. As a DB, this is very frustrating, especially when you're in man coverage. You have to have good communication on the field. You can see that the outside receiver, because of the jam, takes him a little bit of extra time to get off of that to work to the inside, and the quick release here doesn't, you know, it doesn't affect them. So the quarterback goes to the top side of the field and takes advantage of the one-on-one here with this DB, who again is not a great coverage guy. Putting him on an island like that is very risky, especially in this situation, but he gets a clean inside release. These aren't the moments that frustrate me with this game. I can live with good football happening, me making a bad decision as a user, and the computer, you know, going through its progressions and finding that open player. That doesn't bother me. What does is when I call every sort of defense under the sun and I cannot get the 60 overall Akron quarterback to make a mistake. He'll go 20 for 21, 190 passer rating, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns against my team, who's vastly superior and should have better players across the board. That's what frustrates me. Another minor gripe that I have, for some reason, I can't really get this to work real well, but when I'm playing man-to-man, as you can see here, I'm man up, blitzing edge defenders out of a dime package, so my inside corners are going to be blitzing here. You're going to see this jet motion, and defensively in this game, I don't know if there's a setting I'm hitting wrong. I want this player to follow this player the whole way across the formation because that's the matchup that I want. And I get using motion creates matchup problems in both man and zone. Fully understand that. But what I wish I could get this game to do in, I remember specifically in Madden 06, pre-snap you could pick if you want your players to bump the coverage or to follow the coverage. You can do that in both man and zone in that game. I wish I could, you know, just my personal coaching philosophy is I want this player to mirror this player the whole way across the field, even in this jet motion. That still leaves my safety locked on here, or this corner, you know, locked on here. It's specifically sort of like a matchup I'm trying to get here. But anyway, here's another pretty good example. You get the missed tackle because, of course, the fucking Skynet offense needs to move the ball here in this situation, but a very cool gang tackle here. I love when the gang tackling works in this game. It's very organic. It just looks good. It's smooth. There's not a lot of hiccups, but like I said, there's so many instances in this game where you don't get this. The players just bump off of each other, or it just feels like you're just in space and you can't get a hand on the player. Like, even if you had some sort of like the defenders acknowledged, I'm too far away here to get a good form tackle. Can I at least get an arm out so that I can grab this player, maybe restrict him in some way? That way these angle pursuit players can kind of make up some of the ground to get there. That would just make this, I think it would balance this game a ton. This game is offensively overpowered right now. A lot of people would not argue that, but there are just some minor tweaks that they could do. If your maximum guys are listening, these are things that you can do to balance this game out drastically. Big thing with a lot of these games, not just college football, that have trouble simulating is the effectiveness of an interior lineman that does his job really well. And this play accidentally does it. As you can see, I'm locked on here. As you barely can see. This quality is just absolutely fucking atrocious. Thanks, undisclosed energy drink. But anyway, I'm going to cover 0. You're getting edge blitz here, edge blitz here. These two A gaps are going to shoot. What happens here on this play, it's actually basically like a double counter. So you're going to get a pull here and a pull here. These two players get cut by 71 and whatever number this is, 65. And it causes sort of a mess. And it's actually, it works out really good in my favor. So cuts happen. And I feel like this kick out block's great. But because of this mess here, the quarterback's forced to hit a bunch of traffic. Now, what I mean by that is good defensive interior linemen at the high levels will take on double teams and eat the block, and if they're getting overpowered, they'll just fall to the ground and cause a mess. And it makes the run game have to respect jumping over that or moving around that pile. Here's an example of that. So here's an example from a gameplay video I actually made before talking about my suggestions for maximum football. As you're going to see here, that player is going to cause a mess with the double team. This is actually Madden 08 on the Xbox 360. So what happens here is you're going to see this player get engaged, take the double team on, and he's going to create a mess, which actually causes Marshawn Lynch. He has to jump over that, drastically slows him down. And I think if these games would be able to get back to a, an engine like that, where these interior linemen not only can cause messes, but basically, stand some of this stuff up so you don't have these humongous Madden and NCAA run gaps, it would help the gameplay balance drastically. So here's an example of what I mean by this AI is Skynet. Basically, it almost feels predetermined if you're going to complete a pass, or if the AI has just decided, listen, I'm moving the ball. You can't do anything about it. I'll let me live explain it.
Am I not allowed to get interceptions in this fucking game? What is the issue here?
So, as you can tell, I'm slightly frustrated in this clip because let's just look at this window here of the replay of the clip. Why was this completed? What would, like, defensively, what did I call that was not correct to put my player in a position for him to not only make a defensive play on the ball, but he obviously cuts and reacts. He knows the ball's coming. We're in such close proximity here. It's very difficult for me to understand why EA, the Skynet of EA is like, this is going to be complete. Nothing that you do here will deter that otherwise. You have no choice but to accept completion, first down. We're driving the ball and we will score. There's nothing that you can do about it. Here's another continuation of, and I'll let me talk about my thoughts live in the moment, of this game's AI sometimes.
Perfect touchdown pass, because I'm the fucking Skynet. Yeah!
So I'll just wrap this video up with some positives and negatives, but I'm going to let you listen to my actual authentic reaction to the final play of half. I'm losing 21-10 to Boston College. I just threw this ball up for shits and giggles. Enjoy.
Yeah, of course I throw an interception. Their players know how to intercept the ball, though. Don't you fucking worry about it. 21-10, Boston College coming into my fucking field and just unstoppable. Unstoppable. It's so fun. Oh! I've spied them. I've played cover 2. I've played cover 3. I've played cover 2 man. I've played fucking blitz. Just nothing works. No, their team. Their quarterback. 190 rating.
I didn't think that was even
11
possible.
Completions, 14 attempts, 147 yards, 78% completion percentage, 10 yards per attempt. That's insane.